Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Aiden. I go by Tuesday Enthusiast online because that's the name of my art shop. And I have just finished packing my mail club letters for this month and realized that I was getting a lot of questions on my how I manage my mail club video, which I'll link somewhere, about what supplies I use, I guess. So we're gonna start on the outside of the envelope. So at the moment I have 14 mail club members. And on the outside of the envelope, I have a do not bend sticker on the back. I have a stamp, sometimes more than one stamp if it's going international. This hand here, I have underneath it the shipping information for that specific member, which I print on a separate printer. And then up in the top left corner over here, I have printed my own return address on it, just in case there's some issue with the shipping. Sometimes I miss unit numbers or people don't include them on their sign up, and so I'll send the first month to them and it'll like come back and they'll be like, which unit, idiot? So that happens to me, like the post people. I imagine the person who is signing up is not saying that. So that's a bit of a tour of the outside of the envelope. I do print my own return address on the envelope up here with my Epson 2850, the same thing that I use to print all of my material goods. So I took all my envelopes and I made a document in Pages maybe, or possibly even on my iPad in Procreate. I forget, I did it a while ago, I'm gonna be honest. And I found the exact dimensions of my envelopes. I think they're 5 by 7 inches. Give or take a couple millimeters, and I made a document that size on Procreate or Word or something, like I said. And then I added my shipping information in the top left corner. Eventually I might add something that says like weekday post or snail mail club or something on the back, but for now that was all I needed to actually print on the envelopes. I did that because I found that I was spending a lot of time just like writing my address each month. And as the club grew, I knew that that would be unsustainable. So for the front, these heart-shaped ones here in the middle, that is printed on a Munbin thermal printer that I got for Christmas. So up until 2026, for the first almost year of my mail club, I was handwriting everybody's addresses on the front of their envelopes, which again was cute and it made it feel very personal. But I noticed that I was spending again a lot of time writing addresses, and I was looking for a way to like speed that up for me. If you are just starting your mail club, you definitely do not need give me your hands, give me your eyes. You do not need a thermal label printer if you are just starting your mail club. If you are just starting your art business, you don't need it, okay? It was a luxury that was gifted to me, and it's not an essential. Like, I could still be doing my business today and still be successful with it without that piece of equipment. I just want you to know that it's not essential. And a lot of people on the internet, me included, have one, but that doesn't mean that it's a requirement. For mail club requirement, I would say you need envelopes, obviously. You need paper to print your goodies on, or whatever your goodies are. Maybe you make bracelets, I don't know. You need envelopes, your supplies to make your craft, maybe some extra paper to print letters or something else on, stamps, and a pen. And maybe a way for people to sign up. That's it. Everything else that I'm mentioning is extra, is a luxury, okay? So I'm just putting it out there that it's not a requirement to have a label printer. It has sped up my process because I can simply sit there, hit print mail club on my like saved files, and it will spit out all of my labels for me in about 2 minutes, which is fantastic because I was spending... My camera died. So as I was saying, I spent about a minute per letter writing out the addresses of the receiving end per envelope. So per person, I was spending about a minute writing my own and a minute writing theirs before I was printing it onto the envelopes in advance, or onto the label printer in advance. So that's the exterior of the envelope. I do really recommend the do not bend stickers going on there. That way, if the post does ruin your stuff, you can like request at least that they might cover some damages for you. I haven't had any single issue, but I have heard of people doing that. So that's an option. Like, how do people sign up for your mail club? That's kind of the first main thing that you need to pin down on the supply list. And I am going to include this as like a supply. So you need to find a spot for people to sign up. That could be a Google form where they e-transfer you money. That could be a PayPal account that they deposit into. That could be something like Ko-fi or Patreon. That's very popular. Both of those options are like member tier services. Most people are more familiar with Patreon, but Ko-fi also has shop hosting, which is why I've chosen Ko-fi or Coffee, whatever. I've chosen Ko-fi over Patreon because I can host my entire web store there. But if you are not doing other types of art and like the mail club is like the only thing that you're doing, that's kind of like a monthly subscription, I would say probably go with Patreon, to be honest with you, because they just do handle a bit more of the information for you, whereas Ko-fi, you have to kind of have some financial understanding about like taxes and stuff in order to be successful with it. Pros and cons to both. Find one that works for you. You might also already have a website, like a Squarespace or Wix or whatever. Shopify? Thank you. I was like, there's another one, brain, spit it out. You might already have a store on those, and I'm pretty sure all three, and really any other major website platform, will allow you to have a subscription situation. You might have to like buy a plugin or something. I'm not very familiar. I don't have a website with a major web host, but you got to find a spot for people to sign up for your mail club. That's step uno. So that's my recommendations. If you are just starting out, maybe with an online business or whatever, I would pick one of the free or cheaper options such as Patreon or Ko-fi. But if you're already established online, maybe you have a business, maybe you have a presence, whatever, you could try a more expensive web hosting option. And let me know how it goes. So after people sign up, I personally use a mix of Excel and Notion to keep track of things. I use Excel to format my printer for my labels. Again, you do not have to do that. But I track all of my shop business information in a Notion page on my desktop. I track all my sales. I track my monthly mail club members and such like that. I have some people that have bought the mail club by paying me for a year off platform, and then I just know that they're there. Like, they've sent me like an e-transfer for an entire year instead of doing the monthly subscription through Ko-fi, which I am considering offering in my store, like a 6-month or a 1-year membership option. But I have a fair few number of members that have signed up that way. So in order to keep myself organized with the people who have signed up through Ko-fi and the people who have sent me like a year's amount of money in one big dump, I have a Notion page that I can't show you because it has so much private information on it, but it's just got like their names. If they have like a year-long subscription or a 6-month subscription or whatever, it has the month beside their name that it expires in, and then I have their address and just like a record of how many months they have been in the club, so that I can make sure that they are getting everything they need. If you sign up for your first month, there's extra goodies that come along, so I have to make sure that I'm aware that it's somebody's first month, things like that, because these are promises that I've made. So I use Notion to organize myself within my mail club prepping. That's like all of the setup. So setup pretty easy. Hardest part, honestly, is making the art. Making the art each month. So my members vote for a theme between two things that I pick and suggest to them, so they can pick A or B for the next month theme. Then I have to make the art. That's gonna look different for everybody. So the goodies that you have are important. That's often why somebody picks one mail club over another. And I'm not here to tell you what is a good goodie. A good goodie is a goodie that you like to make and your members like to receive. That's kind of it. Your goodie could be a zine about the birds you saw that month. Your goodie could be a print like mine. Your goodie could be a keychain. Maybe you make keychains. Your goodie could be whatever you want. Personally, my goodie is a print and a drink card recipe. I'm an ex-bartender and I kind of missed making cocktails for people, so this is one of the things that's included every month. It's the size of a playing card, which is fun. And yeah, so in my letter you would receive a print, the letter, and then a drink recipe from me. And if it was your first month, you would get the first month goodies, which is a themed sticker and a mail club welcome to the mail club sticker. Very cute, very easy, nothing crazy for me. But your goodies will probably look different. Like, to be clear, the people who sign up for your mail club are going to be different than the people that sign up for my mail club. We all have our own audiences, we all have our own preferences, we all have our own style. And finding what works for you is half the battle with this, honestly. So I do print all of these out along with the print. And then I have a sample of a letter here. So this is another goodie. I have handwritten this. This is the original. I write it on Kyoko loose leaf, the grid paper. It's just my favorite. And I cut off the circles, the like holes, to put it in a binder. And I use this original, and then I scan that and print copies, because I find writing 14 letters like that would be so crazy. But I do like the handwritten look. I like the handwritten touch. I prefer actually writing the letter. It feels more personal than typing. You might prefer a typed letter. A lot of people type their letters. I have nothing against typing a letter, but that's what you need. You need your print or your goodie or whatever. Your letter, some people write a poem, some people write like a half-page letter. Mine is like a full page, but some people print like a 5x7 letter just to like explain their piece or whatever. It's really personal preference. I use my Epson 2850 so much in this process. That bad boy prints my prints, that bad boy prints my drink cards, that bad boy prints my stickers, not the do not bend ones, but the mail club stickers that I put on the envelopes. So outside the letter, I fold the letter in 3, I put the drink card in the middle, and then I stick this little mail club guy on. That is part of my club. That's how it goes. So my printer prints all of that for me, and I also use the built-in scanner on top to scan my original art pieces and then turn them into prints, because I'm a physical art person generally. I use physical media. So you need a printer and a scanner, or a nice quality camera. There's a ton of tutorials on the internet of how to take high quality pictures and print that. If you don't have a scanner, maybe you have a printer that doesn't scan, perfectly fine. I do use a cardstock. I use a 110-pound white cardstock for my prints, and then the same, I actually have a little piece of paper here for it. This is from one that I just emptied. So it's 110-pound cardstock paper, and I use a white version and then a cream version. The white version I use for my actual prints, and the cream version I personally like to use for the letter. I just like when the letter has some gumption to it. You could definitely just use regular paper. Like, there's nothing wrong with regular paper for the letter, but if you are doing art prints or something along that line, I do recommend having a bit of a more durable paper. Is there any tools that I'm missing? Oh, I use my laptop. Use my laptop to format my prints and my letters for printing, but that's pretty much it. And also obviously to manage my Notion and whatever. I also use a Workline paper cutter that my good friend, my best friend, got for me, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that she got me that paper cutter. It's not terribly expensive, but I use that alongside a pencil and a ruler to cut my margins around my prints. Similarly to how I finish my originals, I finish my prints in the same way. So I did a little tutorial on how I finish my originals, which I'll link somewhere up here. But I do the same sort of thing with my prints. So I take a pencil and a ruler and I mark margins on the edges of how much white paper I want left showing on the outside. What's that called? Margin? I don't know. And I use like a pencil to like mark and then cut the prints so that I can erase any extra bits if I happen to draw a little over. I do it very lightly, and then I use my paper cutter to slice them, which I have shown you a ton of times. After that, I kind of create a little assembly line for myself. So I'll have my prints and my letter and my envelope, which I've already stickered. I often do my envelope label sticking first, so that way I can write who the letter is to on the top of the letter, put their drink card in, fold it up, stick that in, and then stick the print in the letter at the same time, close it up, and call it good. Pretty chill. I don't really think there's any other supplies that I specifically use for the mail club. Again, this is just what I use. What you end up using might be very different. You might have different needs than me. You might have different goodies than me. You might have a different printer setup. You might have enough members in your mail club that you outsource the manufacturing of your prints, in which case you wouldn't need the printer and the paper cutter and the pencil and the ruler. You would just need the scanner. Do you know? So like, it's really dependent. But I have a great time doing my mail club. It's one of my favorite parts of every month. I love making the art and seeing people receive the art. It's so crazy to like go to somebody's house, like mostly my mom or one of my friends who signed up, and like see my art on their walls. Like, I'm like, whoa, you actually like this? That's crazy. I should probably talk to somebody about my imposter syndrome. But yeah, if you're thinking about starting a mail club, I hope that this video was helpful. I hope it gave you some insight in the supplies I used. If you're wondering about like timeline and creative timeline, whatever, I have that, again, how I manage my monthly mail club video that I'll link again up here somewhere. It goes in depth of like the timeline and what I aim to have certain things done by, my like self-imposed deadlines to stay on top of the mail club. Yeah. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. Again, my name is Aiden. Please like and subscribe if you're interested in more content like this so I know to make more. And I will see you in the next one. Stay crafty.